Welcome, everyone. Jenny Wise here, founder and CEO of Wise Mind Yoga, Science and Soul. Welcome. Today, we're going to be covering training your brain and how you can use mindfulness and meditation to actually boost your immune system. We're going to talk about some practical tips, but we're also going to talk about the science behind it and also the direct correlation between your thoughts and your health, your thoughts and your immune system. Okay, so this is always important, but it's especially important right now during COVID. So if you join us, please let us know where you're joining from on StreamYard. You can say hashtag, I'm here in Cary, North Carolina, where you're joining us from. And then if you do make a comment, also, please put your name in front of it so that we know who's making a comment, because if not, I can't see you when we're on StreamYard that you're there, and also who's making a comment. So definitely let's keep the interactions going. So again, we're going to be covering training your brain and how we can use mindfulness and meditation to actually boost our immune system, which is super important right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So how meditation actually starts to help your immune system do its job. And your immune system is actually not just a physical mechanism. It is to use to fight disease. It actually transmits thoughts and moods to your cells. So this is super important. Okay, so let me say that again. The immune system is not just a physical mechanism. It is a system that actually transmits thoughts and moods. And so you want to make sure that you're sending the right messages, right? So when we allow the negative thoughts to come in, toxic thoughts to come in, that's going to directly affect our immune system. So your immune system is one of the most critical and most fascinating aspects of mind-body connection. And again, if you're joining us on the Facebook group, please do let us know you're here. Let us know where you're joining from, and greatly appreciate that so I can see that you're here. So for a long time, the ability of our immune cells to kind of attack invading disease organisms was considered purely physical, okay? And the mechanism was not completely understood. However, in the 1980s, actually over 35 years ago that we've known this, that it was discovered that the immune system is actually highly intelligent. Again, it's highly intelligent. And it became known as something called floating brain. Again, floating brain. Because of the ability of the immune cells to participate in the chemical messages sent to the brain throughout the body. Okay, so again, it was known as a floating brain, the immune system, because of the ability for the immune cells to participate in chemical messages that was sent out to the brain and throughout the body. Okay. So this means, this is important, that your thoughts, your moods, your sensations, and your expectations are actually transmitted to your immune cells. Again, your thoughts, your moods, your sensations, your expectations are actually directly transmitted to your immune system. So if you're in a place of depression, or you're in a place of anxiety, or you're in a place of a negative thought loop pattern, then you're not going to be able to make that connection, okay? So it is super, super important to understand this correlation. And when you meditate, these messages change in important ways, these messages that get sent in our brain. So consider these research findings that offer really good news for those of us that meditate, okay? So since your immune system responds to both negative and positive thoughts, meditation creates a positive mental environment for the immune system to flourish. And the study actually showed a reduction in anti-inflammatory genes in adults. So this was a UCLA study, and they looked at HIV positive patients. And they took them through mindful meditation to try to slow down the reduction of certain cell counts. And these are the immune cells that are associated with keeping the virus from progressing. And the meditation actually boosted the antibodies. And another study confirmed that after 8 weeks of mindfulness meditation, they saw an increase. So with the Wise Mind meditation method, we actually integrate mindfulness as a component to that method. So another study actually showed 48 biotech workers had significantly higher levels of antibodies than the control group. So the group that did not meditate, as well as higher levels before the study. So meditation actually stimulates the immune system, the brain function regions. So mindfulness meditation has been shown to increase electrical activity in what we call the prefrontal cortex. Remember, this is the executive part of the brain, and the right insula, and also the right hippocampus. And these are the parts of the brain that regulate our emotions. So when we strengthen those parts of the brain through mindfulness and meditation, there's a direct correlation with us being able to be less reactive. We are able to regulate our emotions more easily. And when we can regulate our emotions more easily, that has an amazing direct effect on the immune system. So if you all are here, again, I want you to say hashtag where you're joining us from. Again, hashtag where you're joining us from. If you tried meditation, I would love for you to just share hashtag meditation, or if you tried mindfulness, hashtag mindfulness. Definitely looking forward to connecting on that. So, so all parts that control positive emotions, awareness and anxiety, these are the parts of the brain that act as a command center for the nervous system and for the immune system. So when they're stimulated, they make the immune system function more effectively. So it's just very, very interesting. They did another groundbreaking study where they looked at 20 randomized control trials, and they examined the effects of mindfulness meditation on the immune system. And when they were reviewing the research, the authors found that mindfulness meditation actually reduced markers of inflammation. So high levels, which are correlated with decreased immune functioning and disease. So there was actually an increase in the number of what we call CD4 cells, and these are the immune system's helper cells that are involved with sending signals to other cells to tell them to destroy infections. So this is super important, again, all the time, but especially during COVID. So coming back to all parts that control our positive emotions, our self-awareness, our anxiety, these are the areas of the brain that are affected the most when we meditate. So again, that is what allows us to be able to have a sense of grounding, because we're actually grounding the nervous system and we're actually grounding the immune system. There's actually something called the telomere. And the telomere is actually part of our chromosome. And these are the parts of our cells that actually get destroyed and damaged from stress. And so when we start to meditate, we actually start to heal those parts of our cells. And this actually helps us to reduce our biological age. So we can actually reduce our biological age by as much as 15 years. So that means that if you have a biological age of 50, you may look and feel like you're 35. If you have a biological age of 60, you may look and feel like you're 45. Okay, so again, meditation has a direct correlation between helping us age gracefully and keeping our biological age low. So, and this of course is going to affect our direct correlation of getting disease or not. It's a form of disease prevention. So these results need to be replicated with more vigorous methodology, but there's promising promising results from the studies that we've already done. So these findings bring a really clear message that your response to potential illness as managed by the immune system improves with meditation. And this is keeping with another strong message that being susceptible to chronic disorders like type 2 diabetes, obesity, health disease, high blood pressure, and something like in our pandemic, COVID-19, this is a result of invading microbes or invading viruses. So this can also be reduced, our likelihood of getting sick, whether it's a chronic sickness or from a virus, significantly reduces with meditation. So the entire mind-body system is actually brought to a natural state of balance in a place of harmony. And that is the key to what we call higher health, okay? So thinking about mindfulness meditation, what are some areas that attribute to this increased immunity, right? Immunity from all illness. So there's a lot of research that we're still putting into place on this, but this is what it shows so far. Number one is when you use mindfulness and meditation, you have a decreased stress and increased emotional regulation, okay? So this has been confirmed through research, and what we think and feel impacts our immune system. Again, the thoughts that we allow to come in, right? Emotion is energy in motion, which creates a chemical response in the brain, which creates a chemical response in the body, which then creates a positive or a negative response. So therefore, stress, negative thought patterns, and certain emotional states can actually have a negative impact on our immune system, and creating an environmental and an environment in your mind to body that is more susceptible to disease. So mindfulness mechanisms bring us towards a sense of greater well-being, but the practice is implicated with decreased stress, decreased rumination, which is when we get into these spinning thought cycles where we overthink things, and the increased ability to deal with difficult emotions. And this is an important one, especially right now. So difficult emotions as anger, or it could be grief, it could be sadness, it could be stress. So this is definitely an area that is really, really super important, really super important. So in this way, practicing mindfulness helps us to, again, have that control over our emotions. So the second area that attributes to this increased immune system is a targeted brain and immune system communication. Again, targeted brain and immune system communication. So another link between mindfulness and the immune system is mindfulness' direct impact upon the brain structures responsible for talking to the immune system, okay? So more specifically, research indicates that mindfulness meditation increases the activity in the prefrontal cortex, again, the insula and the hippocampus, and these are the areas of the brain acting as our immune system's command center, okay? So when these parts of the brain are stimulated through mindfulness, the immune system functions more effectively. And same thing with meditation. So the next area is we're activating what we call our second brain, which is our gut. Again, we are activating our second brain, which is our gut. So you've got the immune system, which is also known as the floating brain. And then you have the gut, which is known as the second brain. So mindfulness can boost the immunity of our gut microbiome. And most of which reside in the gut. So it turns out that the gut microbiome are key players in the development and maintenance of our immune system. And the bacteria in the body that helps distinguish between an intruder and foreign microbes and viruses versus those that are indigenous. So studies have shown that stress tips our microbiome balance, putting it at risk, and stripping one of our prime defenses against infectious disease, not to mention a cascade of reactions that ensue, including havoc on our immune system and our central nervous system. So no matter the exact mechanisms, there is viable evidence that practicing mindfulness meditation helps boost our defense against disease and fosters wellness. So while we're a long way from becoming a mainstream treatment practice for mindfulness and meditation, the results are astronomical, and there are no side effects, right, for mindfulness and meditation versus when we're taking medications. So a fun way to talk about this is meditation each day keeps the doctor away. It's kind of a funny joke. Meditation each day keeps the doctor away. So one more area that we're going to talk about is how meditation helps your immune system do its job. Again, how meditation helps the immune system do its job. So a lifestyle isn't a specific experiment, but this type of program of looking at mindfulness and meditation as part of your self-care and your wellness practice does have significant effect on preventing illness and also healing illness. So giving you an example, some of you have heard me talk about this, that I have struggled with an autoimmune disease with hypothyroidism for going on 4 years now. And I have had hypothyroid issues for actually over 15 years. This was started when I had my daughter. So oftentimes the body has some kind of trauma that happens that creates issues like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or thyroid issues or other issues. Some women don't have any problems with pregnancy, and other women, they don't handle pregnancy as well. Their bodies don't respond as well. So I have learned the hard way how stress and nutrition can affect our immune system, and how important it is to learn these stress resilience and self-care skills and coping ahead skills and doing it on a regular basis. Okay, not when we might feel like we need it, but consistently. And it's what we call building a training ground or building a samurai mind for stress and for the things that are going to happen that are out of our control. Okay. So that's part of a mindfulness practice, is being able to let go of the things out of our control and focus on the things that we can, and accepting the way things are and not trying to change them. Okay. So this is definitely a huge aha. And as I've mentioned, 2 key areas that attribute to our physical and our mental health is nutrition and stress. So if we can manage, if we can really watch what we put in our body for our nutrition, and we can keep our stress under control through exercise, yoga, breath work, meditation, prayer, mindfulness, whatever that looks like for you, then we significantly reduce our chances of disease, our chances of getting things like COVID. And also, we can heal ourselves. We can heal our mind and body through these practices as well. Okay? So how does meditation help your immune system do its job? Number 1, we want to keep up with, again, regular meditation, preferably daily if we can, even if it's only for 5 minutes. If you're struggling with setting an intention of 5 minutes every day, you could start with maybe 3 times a week for 5 minutes. I've had clients start with as little as 2 to 3 minutes a day, and that was their starting point. So it's better for you to do a little bit of meditation more often than to just do, say, for example, once a week for 30 minutes. It's more important to keep that consistency, just like you would do when you exercise, right? So they talk about when you do physical exercise, if you can only fit in 15 minutes, then only do 15 minutes, right? If you can't fit in 30 to 45 minutes, then just do 15 minutes of exercise. It's the same thing with meditation. The second way that meditation helps your immune system do its job is it reduces and avoids stress. So since the immune system is easily compromised when stress hormones surge. So you think about, right, the stress response, and we get filled with toxic chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. And so when we have what we call chronic stress, it affects our immune system and it suppresses our immune system, and it leaves us open to different viral attacks, different chronic diseases, autoimmune diseases, diseases like heart disease and diabetes and all of that. So that's why I keep talking about stress. We've got to think about it as almost like an invisible warfare, right? An invisible warfare against stress. Because I'm going to talk more about this for those of you that haven't seen. The week of September 14th, we have an upcoming masterclass series coming. It's called Unleash Success, Heal and Detox Stress. And I'm going to talk more about this that week. We're going to talk about things like long-term stress coping skills. What is your stress story? Using mindfulness principles to apply to stress. How we can start to regulate our emotions, right? So that we can handle stress better. And that stress is actually just another pattern. It's actually just another behavior pattern that we can change. So the third area that helps our immune system do its job through meditation is helping with, again, those low level, what we call chronic stress that we may have present at work or at home. all the time. So it's that low level chronic stress. It's always there. And you are not helping your immune status by putting up with chronic minor stress. So that's why if there's something that's going on in your life, whether it's your job or your personal life, that is causing you chronic stress, figuring out a way to either change it or to let it go. And there's 3 areas. This kind of sounds harsh, but there's 3 areas that you can think about what stress does. Okay, so it makes us sick because it causes so much damage. It makes us slow because it turns off our prefrontal cortex, our executive part of our brain, and we're not able to make good decisions because we're actually in emotion mind. So it makes us sick, it makes us slow, and it makes us stupid. And stupid is a harsh word. But what I mean by that is it shuts off our executive part of our brain, our executive center, our prefrontal cortex. So it's something like 90% of doctor visits right now are related to stress, and it's being called the Black Plague of the 21st century. Okay. So the next way that meditation can help your immune system, and what we recommend as part of that plan, is to get adequate sleep, right? Because this is directly connected to brain function and to hormone levels, okay, by getting enough sleep. And of course, we want to be well rested to keep our immune system healthy. The next thing is we want to wash our hands several times a day, and always after direct contact with somebody else's skin. So this is just a little tip for COVID. Doctors, again, might wash their hands after seeing a patient, reduces hospital-borne infections by more than 50%. So the very core of thinking about a holistic way to keep your immune system healthy is meditation. And it's the most powerful way that we can actually strengthen our mind-body connection and actually our mind-body breath awareness. And it's very, very, very important. You can also think of food as medicine, right? So meditation is medicine and food is medicine. So remember, coming back to those 2 areas I talked about that affect our health is our nutrition and stress. Again, nutrition and stress. So I want you to also think about that as we're in COVID, it's okay to binge sometimes, right? So there's no judgment, no guilt. We're not going to beat ourselves up. But just thinking about what am I putting in my body right now, right? Am I helping my immune system by what I'm about to feed myself? Or am I potentially hindering my immune system? And then thinking about from a thought perspective, from a stress perspective, am I allowing toxic thoughts and my behavior pattern around stress create the stress, which is then going to lead to me being more susceptible to getting sick because I'm going to have a suppressed immune system? Okay. So please do, for those of you that are Instagram at any time, please always feel free to DM me. The program that we're offering, that's a free 5-day masterclass, again, Unleash Success, Heal and Detox Stress, is healdetoxsuccess.com. And it's in the bio link. Again, it's healdetoxsuccess.com. And over that weekend, through the 19th through the 22nd into that following Tuesday, we're going to be doing pop-up yoga. We're going to be doing live Q&A where I'll answer questions. We're going to be doing some guest interviews, and then we'll have more master classes and guest interviews going into Monday and Tuesday, also at noon. So you want to mark your calendar, Monday, September the 14th, 12 noon, to be with us live. And that will go through the 18th, every day at noon. And everybody who joins live, we are doing giveaways every single day, including a scholarship to our mastermind program. So it's worth you spending the time to join us live, but you also have to register and you have to share your homework. So that's why, for those of you that are on Instagram, we're still going to go live on Instagram, but it would be easier for you to share your homework if you want to get that involved with us through this Masterclass series, to join the Facebook group. And that is also in the bio link. So when you register, you're getting a free meditation tips video. You're getting a workbook that you'll get to follow along every day and take notes, and the homework will be in there. And you'll also get a Ready for Change quiz. So there's a lot of content. This is really involved for something that's free. We put the value on it as $497, but really something like this, if we were going to charge for it, would be more like $997. Like, this is a lot of value and content and a lot of work that went into this to be able to offer this to you for free. So I am super excited. Again, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you want to learn more about CEO mindset, if you want to learn more about the neuroscience of behavior change and changing your stress story and changing the patterns that aren't serving you, you want to learn more about 80% of our success is our psychology, our leadership, and 20% is strategy. And then we're going to talk more about the science of the set point of success and where we want to be vibrationally, again, the science of it, to be in a place of openness for opportunities, whether it's in relationships or in our business. And then we're going to talk about the Heal, Detox, Transform Roadmap. So lots of goodness, lots of good information. And then you can see in IGTV the video that I did talking about the 5 biggest challenges for women. And we're going to get into some of those patterns during that 5-day series. One of them is perfectionism, and the other one is stress, exhaustion, and burnout. Okay, out of the 5 biggest challenges that we've seen with over 4,000 women since 2016. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. We're going a little bit shorter today, but feel free to DM me if you have questions on Instagram. And the Facebook group, and those of you that are here, please always reach out. You can PM us directly. If you ever have any questions, you can always share in the Facebook group. You can message us on our business page, and we are here to support, right? We are here to serve. So we've created this global online community, and we will continue to serve you as best we can during this time. So I hope you are doing well. I hope you are doing safe. We are sending you love, light, and blessings. Namaste.